cable.
Well, I think it'll be okay. This is a good quality recorder.
You got a good recorder, wow.
Yeah,
Cadillac.
It's the Cadillac of audio recorders.
Yeah.
It belongs to UBC. Yeah. So how did you come to be involved in the Constitution Express?
Well, I had been the founding vice president of the United Native Nations in 1976, which was the organization that evolved from the BC Association of Non-Status Indians. Oh, it just got really loud.
Yeah.
And throughout my tenure as a vice president, my partner was Bill Wilson. He was the president. It ran into some problems, and philosophically, I didn't like the way we were going, and so I just didn't run again in 1978. Went back to my old life, and I'm a tradesman, laser. So,
ladies, how are we doing today? Still water, sparkling water?
The economy hit the skids around
Traditional
it.
breakfast is sliding in here with the maple sausage and onion, and that leaves you with the omelets.
Thank you.
Bring some house-made jam and ketchup to your table.
The flop.
House-made ketchup. Sometimes it's a start tough, and I got house-made jam. I'll bring you more water.
Yeah,
Sure.
salt and pepper.
Plus we do.
Thank you. House-made ketchup.
For your meal, man.
Sure, I'd love it. Thank you.
That's great, thank you.
Thank you. Do you need some more coffee, sir?
Yes, please. So anyways, getting interrupted again.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay. So I separated with my wife in 78, something like that. And she ended up working for the Union of Chiefs. And she understood the dynamic between Bill Wilson and myself and a guy named George Watts. They both,
Chalner.
yeah, they were both gunning for George Manuel. And I didn't like their reasons. And I didn't like their tactics. They were like going out for blood. Trying to affect his funding and all that kind of thing. And anyway, I guess Willis told George about that, and he called me up for a meeting one day. And it was a restaurant on Broadway, and he was explaining the whole thing to me, what his vision was of the Constitution, et cetera, et cetera. And I'd already read his material that Louise Mantel and their lawyers were pumping out,
Yeah.
and loved what I was reading.
Yeah?
And so he brought me to a restaurant similar to this, and I'm just like, wow, this sounds awesome. So right away, and I was on work. Wait a minute. I had been on workers' compensation for my back. I'd just gone back to work, and for a month or so, and This is one of the beginnings of all of the spiritual things that happen, cosmic things. I'm sitting there, listening to George like this, my legs tucked under my chair, and when the meeting was over, my leg went numb. I must have pinched a nerve or something.
Wow, yeah.
I went to my doctor and said, I don't want to go to work with this. I don't know whether my leg's going to hold out when I'm carrying a big piece of plate glass like this. It's a danger to my co-workers. So they put me on compo, and right away I just zipped down to the Union of Chiefs and started volunteering.
Wow.
Doing, fundraising and setting up fundraising in shopping centers and speaking engagements around town and all that kind of stuff. Whatever it took.
So that was the first time you met George in person?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I'd met him before. He was the president of the North American Indian Brotherhood, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, the Native Indian.
Original tasting?
It's delicious.
So yeah, my leg went numb, and that was the beginning of the best journey I've ever had.
Wow.
Politically, it was sound. Everybody wants to fight for equal rights, so that's what we were up to. And we're just a bunch of grassroots people, which made it even better because we were all taking an interest in a topic that was pretty complicated, but we all knew that it was right. And everybody just idolized George because of his way with anyone, people. He's a good people person, an amazing political mind. I mean, this guy had a great degree of education, It was freaking amazing. He was the president of the World Council of Indigenous Peoples. I heard lots of stories about him, they were going on these diplomatic journeys with the government down to Guatemala, and they'd lose him. And they'd find him just walked into somebody's house and started talking to them, right?
I've heard those stories
Indians,
too. Yeah.
It wasn't your normal or average advocate. He was cut out of his own cloth.
And so it was 1978 when you met, you said?
Well, when he met me, I think it was 80 when we talked about this.
Right.
Or 79, something like that.
And you specifically talked about the Constitution issue?
Yeah, he asked me if I wanted to become involved. And I said, sure. Of course I do, And so he says, well, just come down to my office and we'll all just join everybody else that's doing things. And went down there and met all these people doing stuff, just whatever it took.
Yeah.
And started doing, like I said, raising funds and awareness and traveling around to the community.
Yeah. What was that like?
It was amazing. Because we'd all done the hand drumming around this whole issue, we came together and that's what happened. We started singing these Constitution Express songs and stuff like that. And then we started getting invited out to the communities. And that's where we did the fundraising and awareness and just an amazing way to bond because, we'd see each other in Kamloops one time, and then next time we'd all be in Lillooet. Next time we'd be up in Port Hardy, doing all that. And it was just a blast. We'd go to rodeos in the summer. And I remember being in a rodeo up in Mount Currie, and me and Frank Rivers and his wife at the time, Terry Williams, and all the other Mount Currie people on the Express. Mount Currie is very most of the Express people there, young people.
Yeah.
And so there we are. We're raising funds. We had permission to sell potato chips and stuff like that at the rodeo. And there we are with all these Coleman stoves and whatever pots we could gather for each burner, and we'd be making our potato chips from that. And Terry made some Indian tacos. And people found out that we were raising money for the Express, and we sold out. We didn't have enough money to buy what we needed. So, anyway, that's the way it went, everywhere we went. And it didn't wane, it didn't wax, it just continued to build.
Yeah.
And everybody was just so dedicated and sold on George Manuel's leadership and his, his reasoning, and everything was sound.
Yeah.
And we had people from coming over to work for the Union and Chief from Kanawaki, The guy who did the Constitution Express logo was, I think his last name was Miracle.
Oh, really? Cool.
And
The logo is with
the train.
Oh, with the train. Oh, awesome.
So anyway, that's pretty much the way it worked. And then I'd been on Compo long enough that the doctors were saying, you got to get back to work. You can't, no reason to keep you off work. So I was kind of that spoiled my fun, going back to work. So
Yeah.
I was feeling kind of guilty about it. Anyway, I was up in Mount Currie the weekend before I went back to work, and had a sweat with Frank Rivers, who was a pipe carrier with us, and a few other pipe carriers that were among us. And I told him I feel really bad that I have to leave because I've got to go back to work. And so, we just prayed on it. And this is a word of a lie. I got back to work on a Monday, and I was working on a job down in White Rock on a roof putting in skylights. And it was around 11 o'clock. I was on this roof, and we were preparing to put these skylights in. It was a cedar shingle roof, and it started raining. Right away, as a glazer, you got to vamoose because it gets too slippery. You got to get off the roof.
Yeah.
I didn't quite make it, and I slipped over the side of the roof.
Oh my God.
And that was 2.5 stories.
Wow.
But luckily for me, I bounced off the skylight on the first floor. Like an overhang skylight, like an awning sort of. That broke my fall a little bit, and I just went the rest of the way and hit the ground. Unfortunately,
Wow.
just prior to that, there was all kinds of construction garbage down there. And just before I fell, the bulldozer came and cleaned it all, pushed it all up. And so when I landed, I hit the track, the bulldozer track. And so my foot landed sinks into the ground about, maybe that much.
Yeah.
And so my foot landed on there and turned, and I sprained my ankle. And it pulled a chip of bone off of my ankle. I was on compo again. And so back to work on Express I was,
Yeah.
Just, who could plan that?
Really lucky to not be more injured. I mean, you must be the only person to be so pleased to fall off a roof.
Well, yeah, I was right back at work again. So that lasted a few weeks, and then finally had to go back to work after a while because they figured I was off work long enough. And then I was running low on cash anyways, and so I got a job out of town up in Prince George, like I was telling you. I was working on a hospital up there and running the job, and that's where just before the job was over, I get the phone call. It was from, I think it was from Millie.
Yeah.
Or somebody from the UBCI. Ron, we want you to go to Europe. When can you make it? And I said, when? And they told me. I said, sure, darn right.
So this was after getting back from Ottawa.
Yeah.
Right.
After we get back from Ottawa, we met in Kamloops to, decompress or whatever. And we all wondered what we were going to do, so someone suggested, well, let's go to Europe. And away we went. Just the way it works.
Yeah.
You think this is too loud?
It's pretty loud. I mean, we can keep going.
We can go to my place after. It's just down the road.
Sure, is that okay with you? Okay.